Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We all stand for the Lord's Prayer, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hunt.
Present.
Mr. Garber.
Here.
And Mr. Minor.
Here. Fellows, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes of March 6, 2014?
I have, sir, and I move a motion they be approved as presented.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
That they'll stand approved as presented. You do a nice job on this. These are the best minutes in the county, just in case you didn't know that.
Thank you.
So what do you got for us? The fire contract.
Yeah, right. I provided you some paperwork for that came from the county regarding Central Allied blank bid tabulation sheets for quantities to add a turn lane at TR 1705 Esterly Drive. And I also gave you grassroots clippings for March. Insurance valuations with risk management. There was a couple of things with insurance. Let me find it real quick here if I can. I think it was on a paper that I gave to you that said the anniversary documents. We received $1,066.45 back on our OTARMA premium for the rebate that I told you we were getting, and we did get that, received it on the 14th of this month. They announced it was a $1 million rebate. Well, we got $1,066, but that's okay, we'll take it.
It's close.
Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. Can we schedule a meeting, a special meeting for Saturday or Friday? Which would you rather do? Does it matter to you? Would you rather not do it on Saturday?
What do you want to do it in the morning?
On Saturday?
Yeah.
That would please me if they'll give me, is that all right?
It's fine by me.
Saturday the 29th time, what time do you want to do that? 9? 10? 9?
Whatever. 6?
Hey, look.
What day is that, Pat?
Saturday the 29th of March. That is the right date, isn't it?
Right.
9 o'clock a.m. And do you want me to advertise it as any business that comes before the board?
Yeah, but what are we going to do?
Work on the appropriations.
Oh, okay. The temporary, or permanent.
Permanent. Yeah. Any, do you want me to put on there any business
Yeah, well,
that comes before the board? Probably won't be any,
there
but,
won't be any.
okay. Would someone make that a motion, please?
Also move.
Second, Pat.
And I might not be able to be here, Pat.
Okay, well, as long as I have two of you.
You can? Okay, yeah.
Mr. Garwood,
Here.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Hung.
Yes.
We talked last meeting about the Middleton Park basketball court area, or any of the equipment out there, and Mel graciously got all that information together, the prices he had, and sent it off to in town. I called about it first before I sent it. I said I'd send a letter, but they said it'd be simpler just to do it this way. He prepared and got it already and faxed it into them, so that's in the works to get that added, insurance added to that part. And thanks, Mel, for doing that. We need to advertise for road materials and for hauling of road materials. And I know I'm going out of order. Do you want to wait and do it with your stuff?
No, you can do it, that's fine.
I just have to find my papers here. I've got them someplace, I think. There. The resolution to advertise for sealed bids for 2014 road materials. It'll be exactly as we did it last year, except, of course, for the dates. And hopefully we can open them on April the 3rd. Isn't the 3rd the first meeting? Yes.
Yes.
April the 3rd. Mel would like to get started on these, and I wish we could do it earlier, but would you want to do that in a special meeting? That'd give you an extra day, a couple days, wouldn't it?
It's a week sooner almost.
Yeah. Can we have them back by then? That's next weekend. That won't work well.
Yeah,
That's going to push.
That won't work.
we're short.
That'll work, yeah.
Just the next regular meeting's okay.
Okay. We'll open them at 7:30 on April the 3rd, 2014, during the regular Fairfield Township Trustee meeting at the Government Center. If someone, and you're okay with all this language?
Yeah.
Okay. If someone,
When it needs to be changed, the dates and time.
right, okay.
But everything else is fine.
And I'll have them sent to my house. I'll put it up to 5 o'clock that evening, April the 3rd. If someone wants to make that a resolution for
What time of day, Pat?
We're opening them during regular meeting on April the 3rd,
Oh, I see.
okay?
Yeah.
The cutoff time, though, would be 5 o'clock that day for accepting the bids.
Okay.
Is that okay to do it that way? Last year, we did the 5 o'clock p.m. Ohio time, whatever the date was, and we opened them at 7:30 on that same day during the regular meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. If someone will make that a resolution for me, please?
So move.
Second.
You're going to call all these folks and tell them, because at one time we had problems with people.
Yeah. No one bids whoever gets people like call and fax the information to it, and sometimes even minutes.
Mr. Hunt?
What time is that meeting?
It's the regular meeting.
Oh, it's a regular meeting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
That is for the road materials. And then we have one for the advertising. This is the advertising. No, I don't need to accept them. Yes, I do. Wait a minute, we'll see what I did with it. Sorry. I thought I had it right here. I'm always on something. I'm sorry, I thought I had it right. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's just move it. It's resolution number for the hauling of road materials would be this, pretty much the same as this. It doesn't list all this, but it would be resolution number 27. Advertising for the hauling of road materials is what this one is for. And it would be the same date and same night, April the 3rd.
Is that your motion, Carl?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hum,
Yes.
Mr. Garwood,
Yes.
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Just some general information. I calculated the overtime for the guys from 11/1 to through this pay, which is ended at 3/15, and it was 516 hours and $16,688.22.
How many hours?
I've had 516. You and I will agree. I didn't check with you, but
I haven't even...
Okay.
The tally
Well,
like that.
if you want a copy of this, you can have it. It doesn't matter.
What was the total?
16,688.22. And that would be, it's 19 weeks. So, and I just did it because I think we're pretty, hopefully, excuse me, hopefully we're pretty much over that.
Is it over with yet?
He hopes so too.
Me and everyone else in Columbiana County.
Yeah.
From state of Ohio.
Just a reminder about your meeting on Monday. I heard you talking about it at 10 o'clock down at the engineer's office. And now we need to discuss, Sean Butler will be coming off of probation as of the 20, let me find out what it is. I don't have it. I had them all made up and I don't know what it is. Anyhow, he will be coming off of probation on the 29th, I believe it is. No.
Saturday.
No. The middle of the week. What date is April? Let me look at here, I'll tell you. April the 23rd.
Sunday.
This is April, not March. Are you on April?
No, I'm on March.
Okay. The 60 days will be up then, but I'd like to start his, he's coming up, should come off probation, and I'd like to start his pay on the 27th, the beginning of another pay period, if we could do that. Which I'm not very happy right now. I have all that stuff made up. Okay. What I have here is his first day as Fairfield Township Road Crew member was January the 27th, 14, per resolution 2014-5. And as of March 27th, 2014, Sean will have completed the 60-day probationary period. And I know we're a couple days ahead of time, but therefore let it be the trustees of Fairfield Township, if you accept this, do hereby remove the probationary status on March the 28th, 2014, and will provide the authorized benefit package as of March 28th. And the trustees have authorized Sean Butler's wage to be blank, if that's what you want to do. If not,
How has the performance been?
Very good. Very good. His attendance has been perfect since he started. Job performance, I think, has been good.
He had a test run, that's for sure.
Yeah, he definitely does. Yeah. No, he seems to be catching right on things around the shop. That we've done plenty of repairs and stuff, and you can tell he's been around the equipment. You know, there's been things where there's been a little something wrong with something, and I know what it is, and it didn't take him too long to figure it out without me even telling him. I think he's done well.
Where did he work before, Mel?
Baker Construction over there in Unity.
Yeah.
I did send his paperwork in too. I had to do that
For
regardless.
PRS.
PERS, yeah. Right. But if you don't mind, if we do that, which is what we did the last time we had a new employee, we started as a new pay period, and that pay period would be the 27th. We go through the 28th, if I remember right, and we started on the 27th or the 28th.
Okay. Of March?
I got it wrong.
You're messing me up.
I got it wrong. You are right. I have March written right here. I want to start him on March the 30th.
Okay.
March the 30th, you're right, Bones. And it was as of the 28th. I may have that date wrong. But anyhow, it's okay to start in the first pay. I'll get the date right in here. Which would be March the 30th, correct.
Okay, all right.
So he has one more pay at the regular rate. Now, we need, I think the chart said 1550, is that right?
Yeah, he's at 15 now.
Yes, starting at 15.
Isn't that what it is, 1550?
1550.
Okay, so if that's okay the way it is, why,
You want a motion?
I think so. Probably not.
Carl said it.
Sorry. Gary?
Second.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
If he was going to call in sick, this would have been the winner.
Yeah, really. 3 times.
Should we buy sleeping bags for the trucks?
Somebody wound him up
Is it
tonight.
fun coming?
He goes to 14,
Sleep on
13.
them? Actually, if you take the number of hours of overtime that she has there and you divide it by, if it was spread over 4 guys, which part of the time was only 3 guys, it's not as high as I thought it would have been a little higher. So there's been years we've had upwards of 150, 60 in that area. I mean, if you divide it by 4, it's 130 averaged over 4 guys. Now, 3 of us have a lot more than that, but
Right.
Right.
it's actually not as bad as I thought it might be.
Well, yeah, because you,
Typically, from that
Sean didn't
information
start
that
till
you gave us
27.
prior, I can't remember those numbers, but it was in the hundreds as an average.
An average is about 100 hours, pretty much. And then some years you're under, some years you're over. So it's about,
It's par.
yep.
and only 38 hours was Sean's. So the rest of it was when we had 3.
450 more miles.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
450 more miles.
No, it's about 63 or something. He probably was thinking about it before 450 hours.
sometimes.
Yeah, I'll bet it did. Okay. And now the Columbiana fire contract, Bob just gave it to us here tonight. And that is, this is due April the 1st of 2014. And the amount of money is $47,762.08. It's a 1-year contract, beginning 4/1/2014 through March 31 of 2015.
I made copies for everyone. You have the original one.
Oh, okay. Then
So I guess after we sign it, we'll make a copy of that for you,
Okay.
and then I'll deliver it tomorrow.
Resolution number 29, PO number, find it. Purchase order number 13. Okay. Someone want to make that a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Hum?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Right, and don't do what they did last time, take it home and get it signed. While you guys are signing it, Bob gave me something else here tonight, this is just FYI. The Village of New Waterford presented the bi-monthly report for January and February of 2014. Fire and accident runs were 9, ambulance runs was 28, including a couple auto accidents. And fire accident runs 7, ambulance runs 32.
I made copies of that for everyone.
Oh, you'll like that, oh.
Yeah. Well, I don't quite understand the ambulance count, but
Yeah, I think that's just, I would hope that is just for our information.
I would hope so.
And I think that's all I had from,
Okay.
I need to check one more thing. So I got 2 papers here. Yeah, that's good.
No. As far as what we've been up to since the last meeting, we attended with several more call-outs on some snows with the up and down temperatures that we've all been experienced. We've also been doing some road patching as necessary. We serviced several pieces of equipment, the pickup truck, 2007 Ford F-450, the 93 International. Done a few repairs. We installed a new steering gearbox on the 96 International. We put the pickup room on the Case 521 loader and started sweeping up the ashes. Hopefully, we're not going to be putting any more out there, but getting started on it anyway, especially it was pretty heavy in areas. So we started cleaning up winter debris. We also started running the rotary ditcher a little bit. We installed 30 feet of 12-inch driveway culvert on Kelly Park. It was a permit from last year from Harry Neuenschwander that we didn't get done because of weather. The new windshield was installed on the 2013 by Safelight. That you already got the reimbursement for it.
Got the reimbursement, the check was sent to.
So that's all taken care of. I emailed that Megan McClure from ODOT to have the Kelly Park Railroad crossing removed from the exemption list. So we'll be getting
Fairfield Railroad, is that what they call it, Fairfield Railroad?
Yes. She responded and said that there would be a letter coming in the future giving an approximate installation date of when they're going to start doing that.
Okay.
What was her last name, Megan?
McClure,
C-O-U-R?
MCCLURY. If I'm saying that
Okay.
right. Town.
It's good.
And we already talked about I have a copy of that replacement cost thing too, if anyone wants one for that I made for Middleton Park there.
I will take one that
I gave you one already.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I got more. I can do that one. And I met with a representative from Strasser Construction, and we looked at Crestview Road, Lower Elkton Road, and Old 14, as far from that meeting that I attended in the county. As we probably all know, in his opinion, Crestview was way beyond any kind of topical treatment. It's to the point where it needs to be repaved. As far as trying to do anything just by topping it with any kind of microservicing or anything like that, it's way beyond that.
So how do you want to proceed with that? 'Cause that's a chunk of change.
Yeah, so that's something we need to think about.
We got a little bit of money set aside, but I guess that's something we ought to talk about Saturday.
Okay.
And I think too, if the county's going to have any paving projects up around this area, we might be able to piggyback and partner up with them.
Yeah.
If we would decide to move forward with that out there. So we could do kind of a double bid, maybe try to streamline some costs there.
Yeah.
So I think you've done that in the past, haven't you, Mel? Work with them a little bit.
Well, we've been babying it for a while. I don't know if we can
I
get...
haven't been across it for a while.
I don't know if we can get another year out of it. I mean, frost really opened up some pretty big cracks in it this year, and it hasn't really flown apart, but I mean, it's not far from it.
The ground's still frozen. We haven't even seen what's going to happen yet.
So,
Probably what's going to happen out there next is going to be delamination of that microseal.
yeah.
That's going to happen.
Right. And there's areas where you can start to see where it's flaking off and
Right.
start to get up. some holes in them areas. But I don't know if we can stretch it another season.
Because we figured, what, 250, maybe 300,000. You gonna be at the meeting on the 29th?
I will try to be, yeah. I have a couple things going on that day, but hopefully I can get one thing done before and the rest after. So yeah, that's something we probably need to give a serious look at, but that way we really lose it, you know. And then he, in his opinion, like a road like Lower Elkton's prime candidate for the type of things they do. You know, as far as in his opinion, he thought Lower Elkton would be ready for a crack seal. He said it's really not that bad, but there's some areas along the edge that a crack seal would be a good thing for Lower Elkton, and either possibly a slurry seal this year, maybe next. You know, if we're looking at Crestview Road, we probably want to maybe just crack seal it this summer, and then maybe something like that next year or something.
Lower Elkton, what are we talking, is it 08 pavement?
I think it's, should know that, I've looked at it enough. Lower Elkton is a 09.
09.
Yeah. But that's,
Well, and I agree with Strasser, it's crack seal would be prudent at this time.
yeah. So that's something to think about, that we should. And he said, as far as crack sealing goes, he said, to be honest with you, you're better off to get somebody local, other than if we had a whole bunch of them to come do, because you're going to get a lot better price from somebody local.
Right.
And the city has talked about possibly buying a crack sealing machine. If that would happen, it would be
I
something.
think they had one.
They rented one, or did they buy?
Did they rent?
They
Last
rented
fall,
one.
I seen them using one.
They rented that one, but I know Jesse was talking about possibly purchasing one. So if that would happen, that would give us an avenue there. Possibly, so. And then Old 14, he didn't see, he said there had to be quite a bit of work done to the edges, like milling out, because the edges out there, you know, are pretty cracked up, and we patched on them. So as far as doing any kind of type of work, any kind of microsurfacing or anything like that, he said that would have to be like milled out and done prior to, which I think at that point would probably, I'd actually have it on the chip seal list for this year. I think that's just the way to go. Do what we can patch-wise out there and then just chip seal it.
Well, and the issue 2 money will be back on the ballot, I think, this fall, statewide. And those monies come back to townships, and villages, and cities. And that's how the county were able to get that funding for paving projects or bridge projects. So I think that is a ballot initiative this fall, statewide. So it's something that we use as a tool, right, to be able to do projects like this, because if you look, Old 14 has a high ADT.
Very high.
That almost needs a hard surface on it. And then we have Crestview because of the school.
Right.
So yeah, I think that is a ballot initiative this year, so it would be nice if that passes.
We don't get that can get that every year. It's on a rotation
I
basis,
think it's
right?
rotational, Pat, and I
I
have
think
no-
that's the way it was before,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, before I know it was
Yeah.
it was like every 8 years.
It was quite a stretch,
So if
but
it was 9, if it's 8 years, because you use that money in 9 to do it all over Elkton, right?
Right.
So that money would, if it's 8 years, it'd be 17 before we would see any money, if that rotation would continue and if it would pass.
that's 3 years.
Right.
Depends on how they advertise it.
Right.
given the climate right now.
When they put that on the ballot, what does that entail? I don't, just approval of?
I think so, Pat. I'd have to read it, and I think Bob has some information about it that they've passed to the county engineers.
Oh,
But it's for roads, bridges, for municipalities and townships.
I know we used it before, but I didn't know how the process went.
Okay. So anyway, I mean, he was helpful, and I didn't feel like he was trying to be a high-pressure salesman. He just told me straight up, no, that's not a good candidate, that is a good candidate, probably can't really help you out there, you know what I mean? So I appreciated his time. I thought he did well. He was actually going to get back to me with some pricings as far as like, if they were to come in and do lower Elkton with a slurry seal and something like that. I told him I didn't know if that'd be something we'd be able to do this year, but if he could give me a quote on it, at least to give us some idea of what we might be looking at in the future. And then I did make the chip seal list. I've had it tonight for you to look at and decide if you want to sign what I have on here. Anyway, just a quick, while Bob's looking that over, what I have on for the program this year would be 5.87 new seal, just under the 6 miles, which gets us about every 7 years back to a road.
5.87 miles?
5.87 would be new seal. 0.5 would be a reseal, because spawn seller only has a single seal on it. And we've always gone back and put a second seal on. I actually did do a little bit of double sealing last year, double sealed Kirk and double sealed Homestead. That's the first time we ever really kind of did that with a double seal like that at the same time. I think it held up great. I really liked the double seal. So I was looking at this year of double sealing for sure, Cherry Fork and High Street. So if we, and Crestview Road on there, if we get to that little piece up there, I put it on the list. We'll just have to see if time allows to get to it. But if everything goes on the list the way I have, like I said, then there would be a 2.3 of a double seal. So it would be a total of 8.67 miles total. Yes, sir.
Crestview, is that from 164 up to the dead end?
Yes. There's a cost estimate based in there. Actually, but the thing that Carl gave me from the county meeting, my estimates were using the prices that they actually gave. I just upped them a little bit from last year, and it was the same thing they gave him. So maybe I'm not too far off, but that cost estimate is asphalt, well, it tells you slag, trucking, and asphalt per mile, and then, total price. The only other expense we would have in there is be for the reclaiming, like for millings, fuel, and teeth for the reclaiming and stuff. But I make copies for everybody.
Did any more discussions with that guy from the millings from Route 11 mile?
Yes. It's going to come up that I talked to Anthony Gentile, which is the same fellow that we
You called me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's running the same deal to grind it off of Route 11 again. So we can get the same price on it and same everything, how we did the billing with you last time. That would all be the same.
And that's for the millings off 11,
Yeah.
for the chip and seal program.
Yes. What we add, fruit, adding when we reclaim.
to that paper that you sent around, I need a copy of that.
Okay, yeah. That one's unsigned, so we already signed it.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to make the resolution. Give it to me, I'll just take your numbers off of it, my resolution.
Yeah, you want an unsigned copy, or you
That's
already
fine.
signed it?
I'll take it, one now and then one then too.
We're gonna sign it now, right?
That's what I was in.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're waiting on it.
No.
That's
We have to turn it
I'd rather
over.
have this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So-
Yeah, we'll sign it now. and
Okay.
Right.
You want a motion of that
I
thing?
think we better do that.
Authorizing us to sign those two documents.
And one, I don't know what you call them, but resolution number. I guess that is resolution.
Well, one's the chip and seal program for 214,
Mhm.
and then the other one
Reclaiming.
would be the road reclaiming program for 2014.
Those two prices, what's good slag trucking and asphalt and the cost per road?
I don't know if I kept a copy for myself there.
You got 17 and then cost per road is 8.
Yeah,
It's two.
it's a half a mile.
Oh,
this
so
is
that's
this
the
is-
mile cost?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And then this is your cost per
All
road.
right, thank you. And the polymer is typically what, 20 to 30 cents?
About 50 cents more.
50 cents?
Yeah.
See, the only thing we can discuss is it really doesn't affect us, the program, but maybe look at Red Path or something, maybe. I don't know how much aggregate loss you get out through there.
I actually, originally, when I first did, I had Red Path, Edward, and Madison, and Old 14 all using polymer, just because of the bleeding out there on Red Path, and it being a housing development and everything. So
That's my only thoughts.
it doesn't change the price that much. And if they already have polymer in the asphalt trucks, while they're right there.
And if we're right there, I think it makes sense, Mom.
Yeah.
Some of the mothers will thank you when the kids aren't tracking tar
Right.
to the house.
Get what it's called here. We're going to do them separate, or can I do them? I don't remember what we did before. I think we better do them separate, don't we?
However you want to.
Whatever I want to do it, okay. The chip and seal program is 6.37 miles, correct? All right,
What, say it again.
637 for total miles on chip and seal?
Yeah.
Okay. If someone would like to make that a motion, accepting the list as it's drawn,
Also
represented.
Second.
Mr. Hom,
Yes.
Mr. Garwood,
Yes.
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Okay, and the next one is the same thing with the road reclaiming process, which is 2.3 miles using the road reclaimer. And as the list as presented,
How much? How many miles?
it is 2.3 mile for the reclaimer. Includes Cherry Fork, High Street, and Crestview. Is Crestview over my way, that section?
Yeah, the piece that goes up.
That's
Towards Route 11.
So I need a resolution for that too, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hunt,
Yes.
Mr. Garber,
Yes.
and Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Okay. So as we were talking there, I'd like to get a PO then for Anthony Gentile to buy 250 tons of asphalt mills with what I purchased in the fall and that, but being enough to do my program.
How how much is that?
That would be for $2,500.
Deal for Anthony Gentile for, which millings?
Yeah.
How much? How many tons?
250 ton.
Purchase order over there. $14. 2014-14. Would be the PO number.
2014-14?
Right.
Okay.
Now we'd like to have a purchase order issued to Anthony Gentile for millings for the chip and seal, not the chip and seal, but the road reclaiming process, 250 tons, which would be $2,500.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hunt,
Yes.
Mr. Garwood,
Yes.
Mr. Meyer.
Yes.
Okay. The last thing I had a call today from a resident on Metz Road. It's actually the second time she called, but she let it go, and I hadn't heard back from her for a while. She'd like to get speed reduction on the section of Metz between Route 7 and Bull Creek. The section between 7 and the city limits already has been reduced. So she sees the speed limit sign on that side that it's 40, and she wants to know why it can't be 40 on the other side. I told her it's a lengthy process that has to go through for that to happen.
Last one we did, we never got a reply back. Long.
So, anyway, I thought I'd tell you guys, and I don't know.
There's certain criteria, I'm sure. I don't know what that is, but
I think we have to get all the engineers on.
You just have to, I know
You do
there's
a study.
there's a form you fill out to submit to the county, and that starts the process.
Yeah. It's easier just to move the sign.
He's got,
You got that, Larry?
Oh, it's those damn kids again. Do we have the form?
I have a form on file.
That hill's kind of goes like this and then it dead ends. Okay.
I'm sure this is the form they look at, I'm sure it's probably traffic counts.
Right.
that's the first thing. That's where we've always ran into trouble getting the back.
Right, so that section doesn't have near the traffic as what, 7 to...
Absolutely. There's night and day difference between those two sections.
Well, it's not a shortcut like the other part is.
Right. Yeah, we had a request, I think maybe we send it down.
Okay.
See what happens.
See what happens.
Send a request to the county engineer's office.
Yeah, I have the forms over in my office.
Do you have any kids?
She does not, but she says a lot of neighbors do. And I think that's all I have.
Kim?
Pretty quiet. I did get, just since I talked to you today, I got an email back from AT&T Wireless, and they're asking for some DSL numbers, so I'm hoping to have some good news for you on wireless service. And just because I think it's funny, Comcast, who has already told us, 3 times they can't service us, has no problem blanketing us with email offering to service us, or mail. That's like 3 things from Comcast on my desk today. Other than that, quiet but picking up. Spring might be here. I did my first residential permit for the year. Very excited. And Mel, I saw your notice about salt. I'm watching the email. The last salt email I got was at the end of January when they wanted that emergency salt count. So
I just wanted you to watch to make
Okay.
sure that when the contract comes out for next season, because last year we had to have it in by middle of April,
yeah.
so it could be
Last year it went, I'm glad you said that, I made a note to myself, because last year it went into our spam filter, if I remember correctly. Denny came looking for it, and I dug it out, because it's, the way they do that mass mailing, I think it makes our email systems think it's junk mail sometimes. So I'll keep an eye open for it.
Yeah, I just was thinking about it, and I just left you a note there.
When does it normally come? Isn't it like April, May?
It's changed. There's
It
been years
changes?
where
Okay.
it's been due in June, there's been years it's been due in May. Last year it was due in April, so I was just wanted to make sure somebody was watching out
All
for it.
right, I'll watch for it. Thank you.
Remember when?
The due date or when it
Yeah.
came?
On the due date.
It was like April 18th or...
He's right, now that I remember
We
it.
were rushed.
We were,
I just remember being rushed.
yeah, because they moved it up anyway, I think, and then we
Yeah,
didn't
the
see
year
it come
before that, it
in.
was due in May. Last year it was due in April. It seems like every year it gets up a month.
That's right, it was pushed up, yeah. It was just weird, so I'm going to set a reminder to look for salt. It's the bid thing, right?
Yeah, it's a cooperative purchase agreement.
All right, as soon as it comes in, I'll get it to you.
If I remember, I'll call and talk to somebody to see where it's at,
Okay.
when they're going to bid.
Yeah, I just don't want to miss it.
Right.
All right. Other than that, I have nothing to report except a little bit of bad news. I'm really sorry, but just tonight when I walked in to use the computer before I came over, it's making a really, like a physical grinding noise. My past experience with my own home computer was that was called basically the sound of death, is what I was told when I said, hey, what's wrong? So we back up to an EHD. So Mel, I have the road files. I back up monthly, and it's ironic, it usually is the 20th. Today's the 20th. So I backed up your road files and my zoning files. It's not...
Will you do mine for me?
Yeah, I was wondering, because I looked in, it didn't look like you had much on there, but you want me to?
There's not much, well, I haven't deleted what's out there from last year. I left it there till I know it's right.
All right, I'll
There's a whole bunch of emails.
Email? I'll do what's under the fiscal officer, that's what's there. Email is different, it's on the browser, that's not on the hard drive.
That's not on, okay.
That's the good news, just, I know you all understand this, but just a quick and dirty, remember, our website is all hosted online. If Nidhogg crashes, we got a problem. But for us, much of our documents have already been uploaded, so we're going to be good there. And I'm just mentioning it so it's not a complete surprise to you, because I would prepare us. I can call if you have a computer repair person, but again, it's an older computer. I know just from my home use, it wasn't.
Okay, my computer that I had, we just got the new one. I brought it over the other day.
Oh, okay.
It's over here.
And it's probably newer because...
Oh yeah, because you're using the one I had before.
Yeah, because we don't, I mean, if it's working, and poor Mel's probably like, I thought I was probably getting... Never get anything. No, I mean, that's the thing I was going to say. Oh, I'm sorry. We share, don't we, Mel?
That's right.
We do. Well, if Mel doesn't mind, that would be fine. Remember, we do word processing. We're not doing high-end graphics. We don't need a really fancy, expensive computer. I can't say that enough. So if you have one that we can just move over, that would be great. I'm just letting you know.
They replaced mine last year, and that is the one I had before.
And I bet the one I have now was
Was the
one
one prior to that.
prior. So if it's all right with you guys, I think that works for really well for what we
Pull
need.
out, see if it works.
You'll probably have to put a program on it.
That's what I was going to tell you. You do need to understand that you cannot. I mean, I can back up our documents. There's no backup system that's going to back up programs. So as time goes on, we may have to, I think last time we bought, Microsoft Office was 2007 or something like that. It's been a few years. But yeah, if we already have some hardware, that'd be super.
I don't know if there's anything on it at all. I think they drained it, but I don't know.
Okay, that's good, maybe.
Maybe they just drained the accounting. I don't know that. But I know you did buy one before to put on the one previous to that.
Right, the software for that. So, do you remember what operating system you had offhand? Windows 7?
110.
Well, we can cross it. That makes you feel better. I only mentioned it, like I said, not to be Debbie Downer, but I didn't want to just call Bob or Barry or Carl one afternoon in a week or so and go, oh, by the way, we don't have a computer, and then we're in a panic. But if we know we have one, then I'm not going to worry about
maybe you
it.
want to try and...
It's going to, I'm going to be honest, it's making that noise. Again, I'm not a repairman, but computers should not physically make a rattling noise inside, so it's not good. So it's something that if you have it, we might just want to go
the other
ahead.
day when I was over dinner, yeah.
We might just want to get it switched over. Because you can wait till you have certain depth, or you can just admit that you're probably on your last legs and move it over, so.
We'll see if it'll work out, because we're gonna have a meeting on the 29th. If it's not gonna work, then we can take action then to have you guys.
The big thing
Get
I'm
another
gonna
one,
admit,
whatever.
Jeremy, I don't know how to set up my internet.
Yeah.
It works fine.
Yeah, okay.
The only problem we're gonna have, I don't know if you caught that, is the new copier is all hooked into it. The only reason I've kind of now changed my mind as I talk is, if we can get going with like new DSL, we're gonna go to new internet. If I can get them moving, it might make sense to do it all at once. Because I can tell you, wiring in the scanner to the computer is beyond my wheelhouse. I think that was something that they had to come back twice to work on, am I right? So once whatever equipment we decide to use, we can test that new computer to see if it's going to work. But I would try to coordinate it so everything's happening at once. Does that make sense? Like if we're going to end up upgrading our internet, have them wire into whatever the new computer is going to be, and then have Valley Office may have to come back or Brad or whoever's doing it for us. But I'm not comfortable messing around with that expensive copier and trying to make it hook in. So.
Well, and I think while we do all this too, Mel needs to get the Fairfield Township email address too.
He needs to get one for himself.
Yes.
We can do that. We've always had, I know in the past you were concerned about making clear that people not use it for emergencies. You don't want to get an email that says like, oh, by the way, the bridge is washed out. But I know ours itself, we actually have an auto reply that says, thank you for contacting Fairfield Township. Your message will be reviewed shortly. This email is not to be used for items of an emergency nature. So the minute you email us anything, that's what you're going to get back to say, if what you just sent me needs immediate attention, and we can do something like that for his. Because I'm thinking I can contact, if you want me to get you your own email, we can look at that.
I think we should. I mean,
All right.
I'm using it more and more.
Yeah, and I'm always happy to look out for stuff for you, but yeah, you're right. It's kind of,
Well, for example, that solar agreement, if that came to me, it would be a lot easier for me to know that it's coming.
Well, I'll keep banging the drum. If you have a smartphone, the township email actually pushes to your phone, so I see the minute someone emails us. Well, that's how they get good service. And Pat, I don't know if I think I told you, we did get an email, came in one afternoon. Deb Dawson needed us to proof the township page and needed it back the next day. I just checked it and did it, so I hope I made everyone look right.
No, it was fine. They wanted to get that ready for...
Right, it was simple stuff, like...
I didn't go last night. Did you get a new book last night, new director, for all the township officials?
No.
I thought maybe that's what they were pushing, to have it ready for last night's meeting.
I did too, but if it's full of errors, I'm going to blame Deb because she signed it.
Oh, it sounds good.
It was just little things, like they still had Denny listed, so I just took him out and put him on. And I'm going to set up a reminder I think I can just call the email people, and I think we get so many, so I'm just going to call and see about setting it up for you. Okay. And that's all I have.
Will it come time to get them laptops?
Probably.
I mean, like 2 laptops. You got a laptop, you got a laptop. And let's start separating some of this data.
I'll tell you, a laptop would be awesome, and when it would be awesome, especially if we end up, even without wireless. I've actually thought about bringing mine in from home. The Board of Zoning Appeals has a hard time getting anyone to take minutes. It's a volunteer board. The minutes can be lengthy. I'm happy to do minutes, but it's very difficult to be the zoning inspector and conduct the meeting while also handwriting minutes. I can type very quickly. And taping is not... Pat, bless your heart that you can hear that thing. I try to tape the meetings and transcribe from them. No one appreciates what you do because that is hard to do. I hate it.
It takes a while.
Yeah, so my point is if we had a laptop, I could type very quickly. I could run a meeting and type what they're saying. So I'm just throwing that out there if you decide to do that. Again, for my purposes, it would not have to be a real high,
Right.
We're not keeping thousands of family photos on the thing. The one I have at home is very
Why
expensive.
don't the two of you start checking into stuff and getting us
I
some places?
think you start looking, because with Pat's computer that you do have, we could set that up for a PC, and then we could look at the 2 laptops, since you're going to work with the DSL and get us some Wi-Fi. I think it
We're
would
praying.
I think it would advantageous to look at those, as Bob said.
Because you're in your private vehicle quite a bit, and you're in vehicles quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be honest, and we're getting into that tech stuff. Anytime you're out on the road, I would still use my phone because it has data. Like I don't mind. I use my personal phone, but that works for me. As far as out on the road, I don't know that I would drive around with a laptop too much, just because once it's disconnected from the wireless, it's not really useful for me. You might find it different. But it would still be great just within the building to go to meetings, to go back and forth, things like that. For you, it would be great because you don't actually work over here. You have to come over here away from your main office to use this computer, correct?
Right.
And in the building, the wireless would definitely, I would hope, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm really thinking the AT&T should be able to do, they already serve us, so I don't know why they won't be able to add wireless to our, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm hoping we're going to get good news from them, like I said.
So you guys want to let them check their stuff on? It's time to get moving here.
All right, I put down that I'm going to get you set up for email. I set a reminder. The reason that's what I do with my smartphone is I'm setting a reminder. I'll contact Midhog. Again, I'm being very confident here. I don't think it'll take long, and I'll try to get you set up with something.
All right.
But you're still not getting allowances.
I feel bad because it's like you just got us that beautiful copier, and then I'm like, yeah, by the way, your computer's dying. It's just, we've had that a long time now. We have gotten our money's worth out of it. I mean,
Well, I think I'm fairly confident that the PC will go right in its place as far as for doing what we need to do over there.
yeah, as a
But like I said,
desktop.
it's just going to have to be
That's why I wouldn't expect you to drop everything tomorrow and mess with it. The nice thing is, with an EHD backed up, if something happens tomorrow and it won't start up, I mean, honestly, I'll just unplug the EHD, take it home, and I have all my forms, and plug it in. That's the beauty of it. And I'm not going to clutter your minds with that tonight, but as we go to a more digital age, we might want to, EHDs are good if you remember to use them, which we do. I back them up about, like I said, once a month on the 20th, so it backed up today. But that still means anything Mel does say theoretically tomorrow won't be backed up until I come back in to physically do it. At home, on my own home computer, I use a system that actually just automatically, because wireless, it backs up all the time, and it might be something. Once we get to that point, I might start gathering up some information for you guys, because it's a real small amount of money to back up a lot of stuff. I'm actually surprised, Pat. Does the state have anything for you yet with everything going digital, or no?
To back up my...
Like, do they have guidelines on how you're supposed to back up, or are they not going that way
Oh,
yet?
yeah, it will lock me out of my system if I don't back up.
And
That's
you still
in the
have
county.
You have to manually do it physically? Okay.
I just do it on the desk.
You do it on the desk, okay.
It makes you... You can't get in again until you do it.
All right. Well, sorry, I'm like the boring member of the family with my dumb tech stuff.
Well,
but-
see what you folks can come up with, and, maybe we can take action on the 29th.
Okay.
You got something...
Well, the short, if it's all right with you, I think I'm going to consider the steps to be, get the wireless answer first. Then when we know they're going to, whatever they're going to do, then move the new to us PC, Pat's old PC.
Right.
And then we call, probably going to have to call Valley office back to set the scanner up to go to the new computer. Is that what you would think?
Yeah.
You were here when they hooked it up, that's why I looked at you now.
Probably.
That was much better.
Did I get some...
And the good news is, I mean, scanning is nice, but it's not, we can function for a couple days if the scanner, if the copier's unhooked. We're not
And they can send us a bill this time.
They can send us a bill. I think
Thinking of you
figure
better.
this out. All right, guys, thank you. We'll get up there.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Carl?
I was at the county township meeting last night in Summitville. The main speaker of the evening was Bert Dawson, the county engineer, and he gave me those documents that I passed on to you. I thought maybe, that we could use them here, but apparently he's got about the same price as, and that's what he's talking about, was the price of slag and so on, and the quality of it and this and that. And I mean, that was the main thing of the evening. except they just had wonderful food. It was great. And that's all I have to say.
Did Bert say anything about the availability with the oil and gas in the area? I mean, has that come up? Because last year, it was an issue. Is it going to continue to be an issue?
I talked to the lady up at BMD, which is, the information he gave me is true. She talked like there was a pretty good supply of it, and they especially made that 6M for Columbiana County. Like, I think they were going to be selling off just every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but it was specially made for Columbiana County. Because they went through 3 different screenings to get to where Bob Durbin approved it. So they went to great lengths to make it to be suitable for Columbiana County.
Good.
Screen 3.
Hopefully they made enough.
Well, let's hope so. I got some backup plans if you want.
Oh, all right. Barry?
Just a couple of things. You know, the chip seal program, Mel, I think you hit it right on the head with the roads that we have and the treatments that need to be done. You know, with the reclaimer, thanks for putting all that information together. You know, one thing that, you know, we talk about all this, and our estimate is $173,000 to do this 10-mile road, or 8-mile road. So, you know, it's quite costly, but I think we deliver a very good program, and thanks for that. The other thing is, I don't like Old 14 we're saying about the berms breaking down. I know we've got a lot of residential areas out through there. We need to cut them berms.
Big time.
Big time. So we may have some concerned residents, but there is a lot of high berm out through there that we should probably get that cut prior to that chip seal. So it might be some diplomacy efforts out through there because there is a lot of residential grass, but it's pretty high, and that's probably some of the reason because the drainage. So, but other than that, thanks for the chip seal. That's all I have.
Well, with the 173, and if we do Crestview, and if that's close to 3, that's a lot of money this year.
Sure is.
So we're going to have to do some ciphering Saturday. Casey, I like when he says reach out. Casey call you?
Thursday, yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, good. He talked with me, and he goes, well, I'm going to reach out to Barry. I guess that means he called.
Yeah, he had called yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, because at that point in time, I didn't know where we were with the Allied thing, and he'd spoken to me about picking a date. And, you know, you had dropped off that stuff that he had generated. So, what are you guys, I don't want to rush you guys, but is it going to be ready to?
I think
Because I haven't seen the drawing.
when I talked to Bob yesterday about not being able to make the meeting Monday, he had said that he did send it to, he made contact with Joe Second Central Allied and got him that blank quantity one. And then I noticed in the letter tonight that they'll develop those plans after we make a decision on which direction we want to go. So I would say, you know, what are you thinking for a time frame?
Well, Casey and I had talked about the second meeting in April. And then he was going to reach out to you, and then he called me back, and I don't know who all he spoke to. But I don't know if that's too early, or... Because what do you have?
What's some... I have to look, Bob. It's been a while ago. Is that the ones you had me get copies of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the print which shows the widening.
Yeah.
I would say the 17th, Bob, would be a good meeting because it would give time to get an estimate back. Central Allied. Time to look at all this other information that we can discuss on the 17th.
Okay. So I memean, is it the board's desire to use that date as the voting date unless something happens between now and then?
Because I think all the work that we've tried to do leading up to this, it should be finalized and we'd be able to look at it as a board
Okay.
and look at the options. So I think the 17th would probably work.
Okay. Because I don't want to, I guess, surprise people.
Right.
And I know the press was asking at the last meeting when we were going to do a vote, so I guess let's do a motion that we're going to vote on the railroad crossing on Esterly. Tentatively, the plan is April 17th. Are you going to be here, Paul?
I hope so.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you were going to go see one of your kids or not.
Well, we were going to go, and I told you,
Right.
we were going to go for a few days up to Kelly's. She lives over in Pennsylvania, and she's got 5 little girls, and 2 or 3 of them come down with the flu, and every day, or every couple of days, she gets another one.
It's another one.
Pardon?
It'll cycle through all 5 of them probably.
Stay away.
Yeah, that's what Joanne says.
Yeah, stay away from them. Stuff's nasty with that. So, I guess the motion is passed that April the 17th, barring anything unknown, we'll entertain the question of closing the railroad crossing on Esterly. And anyone that wants to be there, they'll notify. And what I was thinking about doing, I don't want to turn this into another public hearing, but I was thinking maybe do that at the beginning of the meeting, if that's okay with you guys.
What's that?
What?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you said.
On the 17th,
Right.
because I would imagine we're going to have a room full. So rather than have everybody sit through our general business meeting, we'll just entertain that question at the beginning and let everybody speak for, give them a minute, I guess.
Yeah, because, like you said, Bob, I think we had a lot of excellent comments at the public hearing, and I don't think we need to rehash all the issues.
And just keep the time limit down to a minute. Whoever wants to stand up will go through the ledger and go from there.
Sure.
Because you had dropped off a Diebold agreement, the railroad position statement,
Yeah, 2 different ones, 2 resolutions.
and then there was 2 resolutions. And I was talking to Casey about the 2 resolutions as far as the second page of it.
The dollar amounts.
Yeah, and he explained that. Because we're still going to have, they still have an ordinance at the top. So what I'll probably do is, and I don't know if you want to do that tonight or not. I mean, do you want to, well, I'll just do them both as resolutions and have them prepared, and then we'll decide which one we're going to put on the table. I'll do that.
At this meeting.
Yeah, so I'll have then I'll...
You'll prepare both?
Yeah, for both, and then we'll decide which one, and then I'll give you the one that we're going to vote on. Because the one has an additional $7,500, but there's strings attached to that. But they're not that, I guess, definitive, so there's quite a bit of discretion as far as how that additional $15,000 is to be used.
We did have one resolution that you gave me. Is that one of them, or is this 2 new ones?
No, these are a little bit different from the 2 that the Railroad Commission sent us. These are similar.
Okay.
So I'm just going to redo them in the regular resolution form, so we'll have those. And I spoke with Mr. Diebold, and I spoke with Casey. But I would like to see those drawings or whatever you have.
Okay.
So I guess we got,
Okay, let's see what this says, if I have made any sense of it. A motion to vote on the railroad crossing closing on Esterly Drive. The plan is to, on 4/17/14, to vote on the issue. I have something written here, and I don't know what that means. Is anything unknown? What did you mean by that? At that time, you said something, if anything unknown,
probably,
unless something is...
the plan is to do the vote then unless something comes up that we don't know about right
Vote
now.
then unless...
Yeah. And I don't know what that would be right
Right.
now. I think we've,
Between then and, now and then, is what you mean?
yeah.
Okay. A motion to vote on the railroad crossing closing on Esterly Drive, and the plan is to vote on the issue on 4/17/14, unless something comes up that we're unaware of at this time. And anyone who wants to notify, well, you said something, I didn't finish that.
Well, it's going to be in the paper, right, guys? And on the tube, we can count on it.
So that doesn't need to be in
Ink from
here?
Salem News, Larry Shields.
I don't need that in here then?
No. Because it's a public meeting,
Okay.
but whoever wants to show up can show up.
Okay. Everyone will have the opportunity, you're going to start this at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And if anybody that wants to speak will have 1 minute to do so. And you will present the resolutions in 2 forms, and we'll choose at that meeting whichever one we want.
And they're very similar except for the financial, there's $7,500 difference between the one versus the other.
Someone want to make that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Because I think we've vetted it enough, yes.
I'm sorry, did you say it's not officially, I want to put it on the website, are we not calling it a public hearing? It's not?
No, we already had a public
That's right.
hearing. It's just a regular township trustee meeting. I don't want to turn it into another,
Did you not want me to mention it? We don't normally put regular meeting agendas on the website, but I don't want people to think...
well, I don't think we need to, because it's going to
Okay,
be,
so we gotta get the paper, that's all you want?
it's going to be on Western Reserve News, and it's going to...
Okay, I didn't want to miss it if I was supposed to have it.
If it's a special meeting, it should be published.
It's not a special,
It's not.
Special.
regular meeting.
It's your regularly scheduled...
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a special meeting. But I didn't want to turn it into another
I know, that's why I'm
public
glad
hearing.
I clarified.
So
I call it
we don't need
public
to publish
hearing.
anything, because it's not a special meeting. It'll be the second meeting that we normally have every month, which is the third Thursday. Correct?
Correct.
Man, these children are messing me up here tonight.
We're high needs.
Well, I'm not your child, so I'm not messing you up.
No, you're mom.
That's about right. Okay, so let's do a motion.
Because I think we've vented it enough.
All right.
Is that your motion, Carl?
That's my motion.
Mr. Hunt?
Barry seconded?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Garland?
Yes.
And Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Anything else? Leah? Mary Ann?
I just have one question. Who is this Central Allied? Is that what you mentioned, Barry? Who are they and what do they have to do with
That's the
this?
company, actually, Mary Ann, that has done the work out there so far with the paving.
Okay, it's that company?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're the ones that are going to finish the work, or are they going to do any additional? Is there anything
Well, they gotta
for any
finish what we
additional
started.
work on that intersection, or?
No, they're gonna finish what they started already, because we still have a top coat to go
Yeah,
down.
there's still a top coat
Yeah.
and driveway.
So that has to be finished. If there's going to be any additional work, that decision has not been made. But I think there's like a presentation of
Yeah,
what
we have a preliminary plan, Mary Ann, just kind of a layout. It's really not in a construction document, but we have quantities, and we have also just a preliminary layout of what a template would look like as a widening of that intersection out there.
Okay.
And there's quantities that were sent to Central Allied based on the quantities that we need to enhance that intersection.
That would be just at that point.
But there's nothing on paper, any plans, drawings that are out to the public that they can see what's
Well, there's a
maybe
drawing in.
planned?
Yeah, we have a drawing, Mary Ann. Just a rough drawing is what we have at this point.
But so in other words, there are plans to possibly do something else with that intersection out there?
Yes, that's the intent.
Okay.
In looking at everything, Mary Ann, that's where, we had some very excellent comments. So we reached out and we looked and see what we could do to enhance the intersection. And that's kind of the steps we've been working through.
Okey-doke. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.